Okay, I gotta start with the weapon. Oh man. Let's put the player start. Alright. I might actually put a couple of these into the scene. See what happens. See, is it randomized? Yeah, it does randomize. Good. The trick is to get out. I gotta make something connect back here. Why don't we, if I open this up, what would happen? I mean, that doesn't go anywhere. Let's see. Maybe I'll just close this off. Alright, maybe we're just, oh okay, that's the loop there. Let's try it. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get rid of all these guys. Put the start where it should be. Okay, so I think I'm gonna get rid of all these guys. Put the start where it should be. Okay, I'm trying to think what would be the best. I think we'll just do it right here, maybe. That puts me back in here, though. So where I want to be is right here. Yeah, that's the drop that we want. Okay, so now there's a gap here. So I could go this way. Kind of an odd opening. Then I have these guys down here. So let's see. What I would need is, let's see, I'm coming from here. Boom. Maybe I'll just grab these guys here. Let's see what I can do here. I know they're gonna be here, so I need some cover right here. This is what happens when you play a lot of Modern Warfare. This is what happens when you play a lot of Modern Warfare. Okay, let's see. Maybe like that. Let me try. What do you guys think so far of the map? This part, okay, I gotta close that up. We don't want to go there. This part. Maybe I'll just come back here. this is a cool spot for sure. I just need to close this up maybe. Yeah, this is not going anywhere. Close this thing. I'm not gonna use it at all. I'm just gonna close this up. You can hide some ammo in here. Alright, let's get this guy here. Alright, let's see it. This just doesn't feel right. There's something not right here. I gotta change my jump. Let's increase jump velocity to 600. Yeah, it's a better jump now. Yeah, it feels much better. I just need to have more forward push as he's jumping. I just need to have more forward push as he's jumping. Alright, those two are dead. Let's see. Let's compile. Save. What are we getting here? Bar percentage. Okay, it crashed. Let's restart. Okay, it crashed. Let's restart. Come on. So it happens. I'm working in 561 and it does that. I'm not sure why, but it does. The wrong sound source. Yeah, it crashes and it's normal. I mean, I should have started with like 5.4. I may just like convert the project and reopen it up, but here I'm just really focusing on all these assets that I built, and I'm trying to make them work. Okay, let's see. My directional light. Let's just open this place up. Yeah, so this is basically a pack, and my goal is to see how it can be utilized for just testing. And then there's just a bunch of stuff that I've built, and it definitely helps. I mean, these things they come in handy. It took me a while to build this asset pack, but it's really useful because I was just focusing on some interesting different shapes. I wasn't really worried about so much about a certain design. Obviously sci-fi, which you get to get away with so much stuff. And in this case, I just have a ton of assets. You know, I can just drag and drop and start building things that are gonna give me enough detail other than just having like cubes and stuff, right? This prop is really interesting. Originally, I was gonna do a sort of a ship maybe, but it ended up turning into this thing. I'm not even sure what it is, but it's just basically a sci-fi prop. So let's see, maybe we'll just leave them here somewhere. Let me actually put it up here. I'll just leave this here for now. So yeah, the advantage is that, again, you can just drag and drop. And I end up doing these in plasticity. And it's really simple. I kept the geometry super, super low res. So if I basically go into my wireframe, you can see the geometry is not much. And of course, these aren't really modeled with like game optimization in mind. Obviously, it should have better topology. But if you're testing, and if you just want to have some visuals, who cares, right? It's whatever makes you happy and works for you. And having been in game production for 10 plus years, I've seen so many different approaches to level design. And some companies I worked for, we actually end up building stuff that was pretty detailed as far as like textures go. Because you can kind of get an idea right away, right? Texture and color makes a huge difference in my opinion. And that's the reason I believe in building stuff that's gonna eventually help you test your ability for gameplay. I mean, I play a lot of Call of Duty, and I still haven't done a level where I'm 100% happy. I play a lot of Doom Eternal. Those guys are amazing. I mean, they've been around for a long time. They really, really understand map design, texturing things, and from what I hear, their artists have, a lot of cool tools for painting textures within the engine. It's not like substance, but that's only what I've heard and some of the things I was listening to. So again, this is just basically advancing my skill set in Unreal, not just focusing on one thing. I mean, a lot of people told me in the past, hey, just like focus on one thing, you know, do this or that. And I've always gone against that, you know, like starting off as a concept artist, then matte paintings, then 3D, level design, art direction. I mean, these are like, whoops, we gotta save this guy here. I think these are really important things to have, the skill set. I mean, the industry will always change and shift, and things will get easier, but the overall understanding is, in my opinion, really important. Like, what do you want to learn? Do you just want to learn one skill set and maybe it's demolished by some AI or some other tool? I mean, you know, there's so many people, like we artists and creatives are working on things, and there's people working on tools right now to make some of this thing, some of the workflow easier, right? So, and I believe level design will always need a person to design it, and I'm sure the presentation of the AI tools that EA was showcasing, those are amazing. I mean, I love what they're achieving. I think the tech is crazy good, but I've hired a very talented level designer for one of my personal projects before I got busy with my current daytime job. And just watching his thinking process, like I've hired him for a month, and he was just creating amazing things. Very, very simple. Not even just using a kit bash asset pack that I built. I mean, he was just starting with very simple shapes, and he really knew how to use the tools in the engine. Just, okay, let's turn this down. This shit is crazy. All right, let's see. The audio file that I have here, I'm just gonna tone the volume down. So he built an amazing set. I mean, I personally wasn't ready with the game design and just back then my understanding and knowledge, but I've also already built an entire tech demo FPS in Unreal Engine 5 called Simulation, and me and my friend Sam Kroom basically started working hard, and I've hired a few freelancers to kind of fill in the gap of what we couldn't do with some animations and particles. But then him and I end up doing a lot of the work, or you know, as a team, two-man team, and it basically end up being a solo project that him and I developed, and I'll share that online soon, the gameplay, and I'll include a link in the live video so you guys can see it. But I think what's really, oh, he's got to jump back down here. That's a good one. The important thing that I've learned in level design is just really kind of planning things on paper first. But again, like I said, I always go against the rules. Like, who says it has to be done this way, right? If it's just your own project or you're playing around, just have fun. Because I play so much Call of Duty, and then I pay attention to other players. I pay attention to placement of objects, whether main objects, then objects. Like, everything has a flow, a certain type of a turn. And again, it's a challenge, and the only way you get better at it is building just maps, you know. And I really love level design. I think this is the most challenging and is interesting part of game design, because it basically runs together with the gameplay and mechanics. And right now, I am basically building off this project, which is really, I want to continue in my free time to get back into what I did with simulation. And I've spent like 2.5, 3 years on that project, and I've learned so much in just game development, working with Sam, who's a C++ programmer, and I'll leave a link so you guys can see the game that he's building now on his own. And he's also busy going back to school and doing more studies at a college in Sydney, I believe. So him and I put in like literally 7 days of work every day, and I took time off from work. This is back in 2000, like right after COVID, I think. I basically started just spending a lot of time working with him, and it turned out really great. So this is still based off of this brilliant blueprint that he put together that I started tweaking to my kind of own needs. So there's already a great weapon system that can be customized. There's pickup systems. There's health. There's just a ton of stuff, and my goal is to advance it, as he was kind enough to make this actually available, you know, for anyone that wanted to utilize this blueprint. And again, he's busy with his own project, but I definitely am going to try to find maybe one person that is a really good game developer that has like an overall understanding. There are certain things that I want to change, definitely in the movement of the character, and I think it would be fun. I've tried to do so many other projects, and it's hard. It's very time consuming, and FPS is what I know best, and that's the reason I think I'm gonna stick to it again, and try to just invest my time into advancing in Unreal Engine. Because again, like, I also do a lot of videos on like AI and stuff, and I think certain things are definitely ready. Like if you wanted to make a stylized game, or a company's like trying to utilize some objects that are not going to be in your face, it can be achieved, right? But if you want really good weapons and characters, a really good design environment, I personally recommend just go and build it yourself. Learn how to do it, because Unreal Engine has everything you need. You can always start off with blueprints, and that's how I'm learning, is by looking at a lot of this stuff and just trying to understand how I can improve, how I can change things, and also watch a lot of tutorials. And that's the reason I actually started a site called UE5blog.com, which I want to show you guys. It's a really cool site that I basically turn my bookmarks into a website. So what you can do here, let's see, you're trying to find out more about blueprints. Obviously, I'm the only solo developer. You know, I've started doing this a long while ago. So, I mean, the project, if you go to features, you can read more about it. But I started the project several years ago, and kept just advancing it. But anyways, just check it out. There's a lot of cool tutorials that I save, and I end up just making it public. So if there's anything about level design, what excites me the most is just being able to design a world or a map that feels convincing, right? I mean, right now this is a mess. I am just really testing my my assets to see what is it that I can do with these assets. You know, are they kind of cool? So I made these little groups, not even blueprints. Sometimes they end up like whatchamacallit, like when I have too many of them, they end up breaking on me, or I get, you know, it crashes sometimes. It's just really hard. But this is really just the experiment. Like right away, you're able to play, and you can basically test the flow on how things are moving, or how the character is moving inside the map. So this is a really huge challenge for me, and that's the reason, again, like I said, really good level design will always come from experienced artists, and things may get sped up with AI, for sure. You know, maybe you'll just like, imagine if you could like build 5 different blueprints, right? Or even just a group like this one here, right? The one that I have, and then ask the AI to basically put this inside the map, or create towers and so on. So for that part, I'm definitely excited. Why? Because it's going to speed things up. Game production and game design takes forever. It's a long process, and there's so many different disciplines that require that experience level for you to be able to finalize and finish it. And there's a lot of people, it's their dream to make their own game and put it on Steam and sell it and have others play. And I think that's an amazing feeling. Like, who wouldn't want that, right? So, and again, I'm just utilizing very little meshes. I mean, maybe literally I've used like 6 of these just to build this entire map. So a lot can be done, and a lot can be achieved, and it all comes down to experimenting. I mean, I've watched a ton of tutorials on level design, but working together with level designers at a company is when I've learned the most, because you can just go up to them and say, hey, like, what do you think of this? Or, you know, you can practice and show your files, and now these people are your co-workers, you know, you work with them together. And so that is definitely the best type of environment that will help, in my opinion. Online is great. Tutorials are great, and there's a ton of tutorials now that people are creating and sharing for free. And I think that's amazing. Let me see, does that make sense at all to put this guy up here? Let me just put him maybe in. I'll put this guy here. And again, once you build really good assets, it makes a huge difference. And my all my materials basically that I'm using for my files are very simple. I basically have created a lot of different materials in the past, and eventually came to a final version that has all these things that I can control. My emissive, displacement, ambient occlusion, normals, roughness. I mean, this really helps because let's say I want to get more detail in here. Maybe if I'm this close, I want more normals to show. And again, this doesn't really have anything to do with optimizing things, because that's something that I haven't really done as much or studied. You can see I'm getting a bit more. Maybe I'll just like change my roughness intensity here and see what that kind of reflection looks like. Does it really help the level? So these are the things that make it really easy. So I can, as a creative, I can just focus on game mechanics and just building things. And that's the most fun part for me, is building my own assets, because when I first started 6 years ago and over the years, I always end up buying someone else's asset. And the thing is that eventually it will show. I mean, someone's gonna recognize it and they're gonna know that you are using some asset packs, and there's nothing wrong with it. I've done that with my other projects, but what excites me the most is knowing that I am building assets that are very, very simple to use and for this purpose. Like, you want to build a level, or you are doing virtual production, because it doesn't really matter to worry about, let's say you're working on a film project and you just want to do tech viz or previs, which I have done for like a TV show. I actually done all the tech-viz, pre-viz, and final shots in Unreal Engine, creating VFX shots, full-on VFX shots. And the cool part was when I was actually working with the executive producer, I end up using like a blueprint, and we were able to just move around the environment. And that's a whole different thing. Like taking, let's say, okay, stop here and take a screenshot. That's great. But what does it feel like when you move inside the environment? What if it's a movie that they're shooting and you just want to kind of expect? So you can do that. There's always like that part where the outside of box thinking helps tremendously with some artists that just take their time and want to create something that really, really helps production. Not just still images, but something in motion. You could literally like record a few of these things, edit them together, and you can even create like really interesting previs. You don't have to like go in and animate each thing. If you work carefully, you can definitely achieve it. I've used various different software, like Mashup 8 has great animations that you can create using AI, and you can have some of these characters like work with those animations, and I find that really useful. Like you never know how you're gonna learn something, when you're gonna learn it, and where you're gonna learn it, and who you're gonna learn it from. So that's the reason, to me, learning never stops, because if you're an artist and you're like, hey man, I worked 20 years in this industry, or I worked 30, I did it myself, but the reason I don't really attach that to sort of my work is because I want to let my work do the talk for me, right? Whatever you do, whatever you create, it actually represents your thinking process, right? It's your creative input on how something can be solved, because most of the time companies hire us to either create or solve things, right? So you're tasked to, okay, like build this level, and then they're like, well, it's not gonna work, we need to solve these problems because at the end the goal is this, and the player gets to do A and B and D. So whatever it is, it's just, again, it's a constant challenge to solve things in a team environment. So when you're working on your own, let's say you're making a game, which I've done, like 2-3 games on my own, and then hired people and then collaborated with others. And what happens is if you have the time, that's great. If this is like something that you're doing that allows you to work on it, and you have some money stacked up, and you just want to make games, that's great. So now your focus is 300%, right? Because that's all you're doing. And there's always very talented people that you can hire and work with. You don't always have to do everything on your own. Just focus on what you're really good at, and then hire other people, ask for advice, and make changes, constant changes. Be open to suggestions. And that's kind of how I see it. Like going back to hey, I've been in this business for 20 years. Well, great. What have you done last week? Like, okay, I'm hiring someone. Can you show me something new you've done? Or are you going to show me what you did like for the last 20 years? And your portfolio doesn't have anything new. Like you're just basically trying to get a job, right? But the way I see it is you want to chase an opportunity, not the money. And the money will follow you if you chase the opportunities and you put in the work. I see a lot of people in the industry going, man, I'm miserable, I'm not getting work, and nothing is happening. In my opinion, a lot of employers are looking for people that have a lot of enthusiasm, like they're passionate, they keep pushing the limit. They want to create new things, They don't just want to sit on something and end up looking for a paycheck. I don't do that. Like I look for an opportunity. I look for those companies I want to work for. I understand what they do. I study their work, and I try to, let's just do something here that would be cool. And I try to do things that are going to help me in my career, right? So you really have to be humble. You never know what you're going to learn something from. And a lot of, even though I consider myself someone that's always learning, and age doesn't matter, experience doesn't matter. Just because you have 20 years of experience, you could be working on a project where, like, literally someone out of high school that didn't even bother college, and they went and, let's say, spend hours and hours of work every day for months and started teaching themselves the Unreal Engine and started learning things. Maybe they're code savvy and they're basically practicing every day. So you can learn something from that person. So you can't just say, hey, you know, only years of experience in certain things are the best way to learn and grasp things. I don't believe in that. Anyone can teach you anything at any time. So you have to be super humble and always show that you're wanting to learn something. And if you're building this, if you're watching this and you're new in the industry, or you're just like trying to advance yourself and get to higher levels, and this should be like your own level, like you want to get to the best of you, the best version of you that makes the, you know, most out of a job, meaning you learn a lot. Of course, every job is going to pay you, but not focusing on just money, but focusing on things that are going to help you in the long term. You could get a job that pays you really well. Okay, so what if they shut down in 6 months and all you did is just sit around and collect that paycheck, and you never really bothered learning anything new? Like, you're just sitting around, or you're like, hey, I can't get work. So again, this talk is really going into the industry, because that's really what it's about, right? The industry is changing, will always change. That doesn't really bother me. And the shift is going to come regardless. It always happens. Just learn something that's something so hard and new to you and challenging, and then go on social media and post it. Say, hey, like, this was really hard. I had to deal with this, you know, for months, and finally I end up learning something, and I want to share it with others, you know. And then ask for people to give you criticism, give you advice, you know. And that's how you basically build your own network. And even if you're a junior, I mean, when I was starting out in the industry, I would literally email everybody. I would literally email every matte painter that I knew, or a concept artist, and say, hey, like, I love your work, I'm interested, I want to learn this. Like, is there anything you can recommend? And back in the day, I had to watch DVD videos to learn something. We didn't have all these, like, options in social media the way it is today. So the other thing is your discipline. Like, ask yourself, a lot of artists that I've talked to, they're like, yeah, man, I'm super disciplined, I do this and that, and then I see them just like spend so much time on the weekends doing other stuff, or like play games, or like, look at your time, you know, like, how valuable is an hour to you? Like, would you rather learn something, or do you just want to go and have fun and just kill time and you know, and say, hey, I just want to really do a lot more in the industry? But are you really investing that time that it would take for you to learn and advance? Like, you know, I ask a lot of my friends that are coming to me, and they're like, hey, like, I basically can't get work. Okay, so have you done anything new? Are you posting anything? And they're not. They're like, no, I got my portfolio, but that may not be enough anymore. Like, a lot of companies are not looking to, you know, unless they're looking for specialized people. Let's say I'm looking for someone that's like a game programmer, right? that worked minimum 10 years because it's a huge project. There's a lot of budget, and that's a totally different thing, right? So you're looking for someone specialized, but if a game company is starting up and they're looking for modelers and they post on LinkedIn, you know, most of the time, I personally, when I'm hiring people, I look at someone that basically really tries to make the best out of their portfolio. Like the CV should right away list like, this is what I'm good at. Like, this is what I specialize in. That's the first thing you want to have in your portfolio. Let's say you're applying for a level design job, but you only have 1 year, maybe a few years of experience, but they're looking for someone with a lot more hardcore experience, right? You can always apply. Just make some new levels. Like literally sit down for a couple of days and just build a level. Like go, I mean, there's so many FPS templates that you can buy. Who's stopping you? Like, don't you have $50 to invest into your future? Think about it. Like or you're doing a top down. Just go get a game system. Like I'm doing right now is, you know, using a blueprint that gives me everything I need in order to create what I'm trying to create, which is an FPS gameplay and tweak the mechanics to have it be almost like Call of Duty, like modern warfare. That's my goal. So everything has a start, and this also is the challenge because working with these blueprints is time consuming, but I'm constantly posting online that I'm trying. So, I mean, would you hire someone that just hasn't done anything? They're not really energetic or enthusiastic. Like, think about it, right? I'm not saying everybody has to be the same way, but don't you want to hire someone that's like so passionate and dying to do something so amazing to impress and work with the team together as a team player and share their knowledge and bring something to the table that's valuable? No? I mean, I know the chat's empty. Like, I post all the time. I've been posting for years. Like, I'm always creating something on the weekend. Always learning something new. And the reason I'm talking about this is to inspire others that may not feel it. And how do you inspire yourself? Well, first, what do you love? What is your passion? Like, my passion is gaming, virtual production, AR, VR. Like this is what I love the most, is, you know, being able to create things that others appreciate or a project benefits from. Right? So find that out and then learn everything about it. And that's the reason, you know, we have artists that are creating things and constantly putting them out there. I've seen artists that worked really hard and try to get like the epic loan for their game, and they've spent like everything, their savings and whatnot, right? So 2 years and no one got it. And it was same with me. Actually, the first FPS game that I made didn't really do much, and I've spent a lot of time and money and effort. But okay, so of course, ideal plan. Hey, sell it to a publisher, get a deal, and work on your game, and just be free, right? And it doesn't always happen. I thought it was going to be that project that was going to change, you know, the opportunities for me. But what ended up happening is, because I wasn't really going into it only to have a, you know, potential opportunity, I actually am going to look for the game. So I can pull this up for you guys. I'm going to look for it. Let me just go through my files. Games, project simulation, gameplay. So I'll open up the gameplay so you guys can see, and I'll turn down the audio. So this was a game basically I did back in 2022 basically. And it was a full playable tech demo game. So Sam Kroom and myself managed to create this game in like a year and a half.
So I've done a lot of the modeling. We also utilized assets. I basically focused on the texturing while Sam was focusing on blueprints and game development. So basically utilizing C++, and we started the game off of just a small map that I built, and then as you can see, I basically made the map really detailed with a ton of decals, and I'll show you guys a little bit more gameplay here. So we really had great weapons, but it was a small team, and I had 2 publishers showed interest in this game, and they said, hey, there needs to be more stories. So what did I learn? I wasn't quite sure what I was doing, right? I mean, the background being more visual development, I was always just thinking, hey, I just got to make things look real. They got to look amazing. So I was lost focusing on, the assets looking real, or, all the detail that I was putting in. And I think that was the wrong approach, in my opinion. I should have focused more on gameplay, mechanics, and I was just giving Sam a hard time. Let's change this, and let's make the gun this way and that way. So he managed to, because he's such a talented game developer, he was able to work with me and deliver everything that I was asking for. And we end up actually partnering up on this project, and we came up with so many cool different elements, and had 2 games that we had inspiration from. And we even did the wall run. I mean, this is an amazing project. So here you can see we had a perfect wall run, and the weapons were really just amazing. That's all I can say. I'll just skip through this a little bit more. And then I basically created these enemies called Nasu. They're like these particle effects. And then Andrew Tafuri, a really good VFX artist, came on board and helped create the final version. And we were using Niagara for this. And so again, the game is all over the place. I mean, the materials, the landscape, what we achieved is amazing. And we did this pre-AI with no help. I mean, this is just really Sam and myself working every day, and at some point I took 6 months off to create this game. Here's something that Sam did that's awesome. We wanted to be able to actually shatter some of the glass, and here you can see I'm going to test it. I'm going to jump, shooting the glass, and then the slow-mo effect, and all the particles kind of coming down on the ground. Really cool achievement for just one person that was able to do all this in C++ and blueprints. And my goal was obviously to add more gameplay elements, and we didn't have much of a story. We're just really just walking around and running and shooting targets, but we managed to create really cool blueprints. And then at the end, we focused on a landscape material, which is this one here. I'll just go through the section. And that worked out really great. I mean, the water, the reflection, everything just looked amazing. So my goal is to visit this project and see what I can do, because Monday through Friday, I'm busy with my job. Weekends, this is basically what I've been wanting to get back into. I've been trying a lot of other sort of projects. I had this hover game called Vortex. It's just hard. I mean, if you're not doing this full time, it's going to be extremely challenging. But again, the fact that 2 people can actually sit down and make a game, and again, this is 3-4 years ago, even longer. That means that things are going to get better and better with Unreal Engine. So I'll close this, and let's get back into this one here. So again, I mean, these are my opinions. It doesn't mean that what I'm saying is the right way, but it worked for me, in my entire career. I started in film, learned a lot in movies because, whoops, I gotta fix this. In film production, you really are in such a stressful environment that everything's gonna look real. This is gonna look real. Oh my God, it doesn't look real. It's all about making something so convincing that the audience is gonna think, oh my gosh, oh wow, this is like real. So that was definitely something that I enjoyed, and it was really challenging. The fact that everything had to be convincing, and that takes a lot of training of your eye. Like you can't just make something look real because you think it looks real. You have to work with a lot of other artists, and I had really good mentors. I was trained by some of the best artists in the industry. Sid Dutton was my teacher. He's actually a matte painter that painted on glass and back in the day, and he was trained by Albert Whitlock. So these are like legendary artists that really knew how to make things look real. I mean, if you can paint something and they put it in a movie and it looks real, yeah, that's something that is pretty amazing. To be able to do that and have something that convincing for the audience to watch. So that's the reason I really appreciate the fact that I had all these great teachers, and I also had another really great mentor, which was basically probably the first time I realized that I really wanted to get into 3D is Eric Hansen. He was my teacher at UCLA, and he also actually helped me show my portfolio at Digital Domain, and that's how I got into film production. So it's always either someone that you know, your teacher, or it could be like classes you take online. Even if you take them like on YouTube, I mean, follow up with these people. Networking is the key. So if you do really good work and it's outstanding and it really is something that people are realizing that you really push the limits and you're trying different things, someone's going to notice your work. Someone's going to be like, hey, have you seen this guy's work? Because regardless of what's happening in our industry, even with AI, you know what? There's always going to be work for somebody. There's always going to be an opportunity for an artist or a creator or a creative, a director, to get work in Unreal Engine 5. Mark my words. This is always going to be a big part of the future for gaming. I'm sure they'll probably have some tools, maybe some AI, which would be nice. The only thing that I ask Epic, can you please make it easier for other creators to make blueprints, maybe like ChatGPT, where I can actually like just save myself time, right? Because it's so time consuming. They could have more projects. And is that a bad thing? No. I mean, whenever you see a ton of games, the good ones will end up, being out there anyways. Like no one's gonna play continuously a bad game that they just didn't enjoy. So people want to play games, and there's a great opportunity. This is $1 billion business. So when the business model has, okay, here we got to do another one. When a business model has so many different opportunities, right, to do things, and not just in game production. I mean, this includes like real media merged with AR, VR, virtual production. I mean, there's so many things that you can do, right? So, and that's the reason I believe that Unreal Engine will continuously have opportunities for people that really want to learn it. I'm not talking about watch one tutorial and then say, hey, okay, like I'm good now, or get frustrated and give up. Like every day you will learn something that's gonna advance you, and you're gonna know more than yesterday. And that's how it works. Some people are just not able to, or don't have the capacity to keep up. And that's the truth. Like, some people just want to have it easy. And that's always the case. Like, even at a job, some people just don't want to work hard. You know, and that's like the rule of thumb that let me just focus on this, guys. What should I do here? Even placing these objects, like, it's just so important. So here, okay, at least I can get out of there, right? But this is in the way now. So let's see. Maybe, oh, this guy here. Okay. So maybe I need to drag this guy over and have it go on top, maybe. Let's see. All right, let's try it again. So anyways, I'm not trying to just go off and talk about this only, but that's what I'm seeing in the industry, especially since so many people are looking for jobs, but nobody wants to put in the work. They're like, hey, I got a website, I got a demo reel, I've done a ton of work. Okay, then just wait for that opportunity to come to you. Because these days, I mean, I'm just comparing it to like a few years back. People would just like literally contact you. But even that has changed. The way HR works is different. There's a lot of like scam artists, you know, that are just trying to take advantage of artists by saying, hey, there's like jobs, and artists obviously are looking for opportunities, and they don't realize like some of the stuff is just spam. So just stay focused, you know, like make a list of companies you would love to work for. You know, who are these companies? Like, what do they look for? If you're trying to get a job as a level designer, let's say I was just recently looking online, and I saw this one where Cyberpunk 2047, they're looking for people. I mean, they're looking for level designer. So imagine, or concept artists. There's so many concept artists now looking for work. Like, a ridiculous amount of concept artists are out of work looking for an opportunity, right? So let's say you want to work for Cyberpunk. Some people may go, oh man, there's just going to be way too many people, bro. I'll just like, yeah, I give up, man. I'm not going to try. Okay. So that already killed your opportunity. So you're already convincing yourself they're not going to hire you. So, all right, let's go to why would they not hire you? I mean, is there a reason? Right? If you talk yourself out of it and say, yeah, well, they may not hire me. Okay, fine. But why? What's the reason? So, you know, I would say never say never. Like, really, never say never. There's so many opportunities that you can be offered or join, and that's definitely going to come from trying to find the people maybe that work in that company and look at their portfolio, go to ArtStation and look at their work. Like, what is it that this person has done, regardless of their experience, right? What is he doing? And just see if he has a blog. Is he on X? Does he post on LinkedIn? Just look at the patterns of how he is presenting himself online, right? And sometimes you have to really study and understand how other artists are working before you can sort of get to their level and provide that kind of concept. So if you're not good at texturing, don't do texturing, you know, but learn something else. Like, I have so many of my friends now that are saying, man, there's no more work for, I'm not going to say the title of the job, but I can't find work for this job. Well, then learn something new, right? If I would have stayed in the industry and I never learned 3D, I never got into Unreal Engine, or let's say I've never done texturing, I've never learned some of the advanced AI tools, let's just forget about it all, right? So I was like, I mean, I started my career as a comic book artist, working for like Marvel, DC, all these companies, right? And I said, hey, I'm gonna get into film production. So that was challenging because I didn't have a portfolio. But these days, you know, the best thing is really to just learn something that you know, that you're passionate about, that you could possibly test for a week. Like, let's say you're a modeler, but you also want to get into level design. Well, find the kind of games that you love and the companies that you may want to work for, and just maybe go build a Fortnite map. There's so many tools. I see so many people with excuses like, oh, I was just too tired last week, or yeah, man, I had like this party I had to go to, or I had to do this. And then people ask me, like, oh, how do you get so much done? How do you do all these things? Well, you know what? You're watching this tutorial right now, right? Or maybe you're just gonna watch this and then go have food, or maybe hang out with a friend, or maybe try to get in front of a computer. Like, I don't do that. You know, I basically think that in today's industry, August 2025, you gotta hustle. I mean, if you're not doing anything and you just keep sending out a portfolio, a resume, okay, so you've been doing that for 2 months, you didn't hear anything back. I know there's a lot of people applying for jobs, but just literally stand in front of the mirror and ask yourself a very honest question. How hard am I working towards my portfolio every day? How much networking am I getting done? Am I posting all the time? Or am I sitting on one post that I personally think is awesome, and I'm just gonna sit and wait if I'm gonna get any likes? Like, most of my videos that I share with my personal stuff, even though I provide so much information and I showcase so much work that is photorealistic, that comes with a solid experience in AAA and mobile gaming, I still don't get any likes. And do I care? I don't. You know, I'm not going to focus my energy on, oh, am I getting likes? Or did this person really say something that's just going to boost my ego? You know, no. I mean, I'll boost my ego when I'm done learning something new that I just, you know, added to my portfolio, to my skill set. That's when you can go and say, hey, like, I worked really hard for 1 month, and now actually I know how to texture my models in Substance. So I don't have to rely on purchasing assets. So it's really your goals that you set. You know, and if I was a person right now that didn't have any work and was trying to get into the industry and really, really wants a job, yeah, I mean, I would be working nonstop around the clock, get very little sleep, and just keep creating and networking with people that are going to be able to give me the right criticism and avoid the negative haters. You know, there's going to be a lot of people in the industry and some of your friends that are going to discourage you and say, no, man, it takes too much time. Why even bother? There's AI coming. And if you want to listen to those things, then it's up to you. It's really up to you. So, I don't know. I know there's a couple people watching. You guys haven't said anything at all. It's all good. So going back to the map, I'm not sure what's happening, and I think it's getting a little bit too detailed in certain areas, and it's a little too confusing. But what this does, it just literally helps me say, you know what, today I actually end up spending how many hours on this? Let's say I've spent 2-3 hours, right? And I'm making this live video. All right, so let me look at what I've done. Is this really usable? Like, can I do something that could be utilized in this map, right? Is there a section in particular that really serves a purpose. Because here, I don't have any goals here. I mean, I'm just randomly putting things just to advance the blueprint. And the other reason is just to test the blueprint, right? I want to test the character motion, the jump, like all these things. And that's the reason I think I actually like this area a lot when you come up here. I also like played a lot of Halo Infinite, so I was freestyling. I didn't really look at anything, and I literally started off with I think it was this guy that I've started building first. So this was like my module. It was kind of interesting, but once I know what's working, I think I'll just start like a new map. You know, I'll probably just be like, all right, let's make it linear. Maybe there's 2 and 2. I'll just like start from here. You know, it also depends on like how many weapons. Am I gonna have a sniper weapon that whips? Okay, so let's see. I just want to get back in. So here, maybe I can just start it off here. And then I'm looking at the covers. So this is kind of cool. So I have a cover here, but then, you know, the edges are kind of funky. So I could build upon this, right? I could be like, all right, so here I should be covering this up. And, you know, a lot of level designers, like, or tutorials that I've seen, you know, in the stages where I would study things, there's a lot of level designers that are really, really good at explaining things and then telling you, hey, this is the reason why I did this and that. And that's kind of stuff that you want to look for because you want to learn someone's thinking process, in my opinion, right? You don't want to just like see that's the reason I'm freestyling here, right? I mean, is there a rule? Like a lot of people would maybe say, well, man, this is the wrong way of doing it. Who says it's the wrong way of doing it? Who says that? Right? I mean, if this person works on a game and they're a game designer, and they have a ton of experience, that's fine. Okay, well, all right. Well, this person may be, you know, giving you comments. Just listen to yourself. Just play, keep playing, keep trying, and see what comes out of it in your opinion. You know, you don't always have to be like, okay, well, this person said that, and that's the reason I'm going to do it that way. You know, just listen to yourself. Trust your own judgment, but fill that up with a ton of experience. And how does that come? Like, you don't have to go to school. I'm sorry. Like, I didn't go to school to learn any of the 3D stuff. I've learned some of the basics a very long time ago, but as far as game design, I definitely learned it on the job. Watching other coworkers, you know, investing my time after work hours. And these are kind of cool assets, actually. The reason I wanted to make it this way, I wanted to test and see, like, I'm not sure what my collisions are here, but yeah, I mean, it'd be kind of cool, right? To be able to utilize that and then also get shot. Maybe I could just like cover it. So these are the things that are really important to me. So here, I'm obviously going to jump over, but then if I wanted to take cover here, maybe the upper parts, let me see what else I have. What is this thing? Okay, that's kind of interesting. So I just want to make sure maybe here I could be changing it so I'm just gonna see, let's say up here, it doesn't make even any sense at all. Let's see, I can push these back here now. All right, let me see. And again, there's no wrong way of doing it. Yeah, this could work, see? Like, we could definitely snipe people. And again, no rules. I mean, if someone says, wow, that's bad, then No, I mean, I've done my homework. I've done my studies, and what it really comes down to, if I ever start putting out some builds on my devlog videos, I'm just gonna have people play it. I'll probably just make a build, and this has been a very, very long video streaming today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'm not worried about likes so much, but if you do want to see more stuff, you can subscribe to the channel and get notified. That's simple, And I'll just go back in here. Let me put these. I just want to see what they look like. It's kind of interesting. I could definitely utilize these elements here. Let's kill these dudes. I just want to kind of put them in here. Let's see. I think if I get this guy here, that could be kind of cool. I'm not even sure what it is. I'm just detailing it for gameplay only. I'm not following any story or anything here. So there's that cool kind of gap you guys can see right here. It's kind of cool. Get rid of this. Not sure what purpose it's going to serve. Why is that gap not there? Let's see. I'll just leave it like this. And the kit bash elements are just really things that I've done just so I can quickly build a level. If you guys are interested, if you like this little pack that I have, let me know. I may just zip it and share it with you guys so you can actually utilize if you were to build something. All right. Well, have a good weekend, guys. I hope you enjoyed this live stream. I may end up sharing it on my YouTube channel. But if you want to play the game, if you've been watching this, if you just want to test this, let me know in the chat. Or again, like I said, subscribe or just comment. And I appreciate you all watching this. Later.